We've got our freezer full of Kunekune smoked sausage. Let me show you how we made it. On to the ingredients. To start off with, we have some pork trimmings from last year's Kunekune harvest. It's mostly shoulder meat, high-fat pork. And then we have some beef chuck, sourced locally by a farmer friend just on the other side of Lewisburg, West Virginia, locally raised grass-fed beef. And then we have a little bit of beef fat. The total weight, which is what we use to calculate the rest of the ingredients, was right at 6,000 grams, 6,059 to be exact. And we ended up being about 55% pork, 37.5% chuck, and 7.5% beef fat. I'll put all of this in the description below. The seasonings were as follows. From top left, salt is 2%, and we used Kosher coarse salt. And then you have 0.5% mustard powder, 0.5% granulated garlic, 0.25% pepper, 0.25% paprika, 0.25% onion powder, and 0.15% cayenne. And then very at the bottom down there, the pink stuff is 0.25% of cured number 1. So we're going to run all this through our made for meat number 12 grinder. And I always keep components from a grinder in the freezer at all times just to be ready. That's going to help prevent from smearing the fat. One of the best purchases we ever made here at the homestead was this grinder. And even better purchase was the foot switch. Keeps you from touching the grinder all the time while you're trying to process your meat. Alright, so lots of footage lost due to a GoPro error. So we lost all the footage of doing the grind. But basically what we did, all my meat into about 1-inch strips, about 3 or 4 inches long. This made for meat number 12 grinder can handle that no problem at all. Mix all the seasonings into that. Put it back into the freezer, let it harden up some more, and then we did a double grind with the number 12 grinder, and both grinds through my 10mm plate. Put it through the first time, and then filled up the hopper, and ran it right back through again. All right, we'll cook up a little bit. This is a very important step. Make sure you try it, because this is your only opportunity to adjust it before you put it in casings. Okay, we're happy with the recipe. It cooked up really nice and had a really good flavor. So mixing up is next to make sure it gets nice and sticky, gets that protein extraction so that it'll stick together and not fall apart inside the casings. And we mixed it for about 25 minutes, doing about 5 minutes in each direction. During this process, we added our non-fat milk powder, which is what we used for a binder. And we used 1/4 cup per pound, which gave us 3 1/4 cups. So I ended up adding 1/4 cup towards the end because I just wasn't liking the stickiness of how it was doing. And so the total for us was right at 4 cups. Extremely cold water goes into this also at this point while you're mixing in your binder. And the water addition is at 10%, which gave us 60 fluid ounces, but we ended up only adding 3 bottles of extremely cold water. We were pretty happy with what it looked like after that. Again, the GoPro failed me, but what you're looking for here is the tackiness of it. You want to make a little ball of it and let it kind of stick to the palm of your hand without falling off. And you might not believe that this is our very first time putting sausage in the casings. Again, footage lost with the GoPro error. So we used our 15-pound Haka sausage stuffer and 30 to 32 millimeter hog casings, all natural hog casings. And this is what we ended up with. All right, I've had these smoking for an hour. I'm going to get in here and flip them over to reduce scrape marks. And look at that. I'm already really pleased with the temperature. Pretty low temperature right now on the smoker. I got about 180 degrees on it, and just trying to get some smoke on it. And then I'll crank it up a little bit and let these guys cook to internal temperature of 155 degrees. And I've got them on these little grates in here, and I'm just going to pull them out of here, flip them over, and run another hour at lower temp, and then start cooking them up. Alright, I got those turned over. You can see they're not near as starting to turn mahogany color on the top, what was the bottom. We'll fix that here real soon. And once I'm pleased with the color on this, about another hour from now, then I'll crank the temperature up to about 225 and cook them to internal temperature of 155 degrees. I've also got a set going in my pit balls because I just don't have enough room in that. It'll take me all day long to get them all. They just started. There's what they look like getting started. I'm running this on smoke mode right now at about 150 degrees. And I'll do the same for this. I'll watch them for color, and when I'm pleased with the color, then I'll crank the temperature up and start internally cooking. All right, round one is done. These reached 155 degrees. I got them in an ice bath right now. I'll keep them in here for about 20 minutes. This is to set the casings, keep them from shrinking. And what I've done here is just got some frozen water bottles and put them in some water and keeping it nice and cold. Some more, I had to switch things up a little bit. I wasn't getting the color I wanted out of the pit balls. No surprise there. So getting the smoke from this, and I don't have enough room to do them all in here, so then I switched them over to here and finished them off. And there's a batch just went in here. I'll give these an hour on both sides and then finish them off in the pit balls at about 220 degrees. Again, looking for an internal temperature of 155. Here's the entire batch out of the ice bath. They reached 155 degrees internal temperature. Threw them immediately in the ice bath to stop the cooking and set the casings. Now the next thing to do is let them hang out in the refrigerator overnight. And after that, we're going to cook one up and give it a try. See if it passes the brake light. Hot. All right, thanks so much for watching. Kunekune smoked sausage, a true farm-to-table product right here at Hematite Homestead. Farm-raised pigs right here on the farm, processed here, turned into smoked sausage. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you check out all the cool stuff we do here at Hematite Homestead, and we'll see you next time.